What's going on, people? CP3 live from the lab. NFL Game Day Week 12. Appreciate y'all checking us out for the Redskins Pregame and D.C. Sports Recap. Just a quick little recap of this weekend and some of the things that's going on with the Caps and the Wizards, just to give a little bit of D.C. sports out there. And we're going to talk about this Redskins matchup versus the Lions in Week 12. You see some of the stats I got on the Facebook Live or the YouTube Live feed. Appreciate y'all checking me out once again. You can have any questions or comments, anything, feel free to chime in. You saw the report earlier that Josh Norman was going to be inactive. Then things got reversed where he will be active, but someone else is inactive. I'll go over the inactive list, talk about this team. AP is also active. He had a bad toe that they were questioning if he was going to be able to play, but you know AP all day. If he can play, he's going to go out there and give his all. So we're going to talk about that and talk about the Redskins in general and all of the some of the concerns of the fans that's going on lately. Not going to get too deep into it, but I'm going to touch on a little bit because I think I'm going to work on the article to, get to some of the root causes of some of the issues with this franchise, because no one wants to talk about that. Everyone wants to point fingers and talk about how bad the team is, but nobody wants to dig into, really why this team is where it is right now. So stay tuned. You might see an article coming out in a few weeks once I get some time to get all my notes and everything together. But that's neither here nor there. We'll talk about that later on. But appreciate y'all checking me out once again. Go check out SportsOTHP.com for all of our shows archived and, videos, articles, Facebook Lives, split screen conversations about boxing. And I know y'all checked out that Ortiz Wilder fight. Paul, the boxing guy, said that Wilder would knock him out in the ninth. It was 2 rounds earlier, but he still has a pretty good track record for calling these fights. So we're going to talk about that and so much more. But let's go ahead and do a quick DC sports recap where we had the Wizards on Friday night come back from a 13-point deficit in the fourth quarter to, what team was that? Where did it go? To defeat, the Hornets. Yeah, that was a good game. I saw they were down by like 10. And then I looked up, and they found a way to win. So they have a game today at 6 o'clock versus Sacramento at Capital One. Sacramento 6-8, the Wizards 5-8, ninth in the division. Robbie was saying they just won 2 in a row with the game they won on Friday, looking to make it 3, and saying that they're leading the league in scoring and assists per game, I believe. So they're playing some good offense, but we know the Wizards' issue is always defense. So hopefully they can, build off of that fourth quarter where they came back from 13 down by playing solid defense and getting that win to maybe doing it again on a consistent basis and maybe having something to build off of. Because from what Robbie was telling me, the East is kind of weak and soft. So if they can get it together and, play some defense, get a winning streak together, maybe they can, become a playoff team with how soft the East is, which we always talk about. Then we can go to the Caps. They had a heartbreaking overtime shootout loss yesterday to Vancouver. I didn't get a chance to see the whole game. I saw the third period and the overtime in the shootout. 2-1, went to, 7 rounds in the shootout, and Vancouver got 1 goal in the shootout. Caps thought they had a goal by Eller on the shootout, but it rang off the side post and the crossbar and didn't completely go over the line and rimmed out. So Caps thought they had a win, ended up being an overtime loss. We'll talk about that on Sports on the Hill podcast on True Radio Network tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, starting with Caps. We'll break down this Redskins game, probably talk about the Wilder Ortiz fight in the second hour along with the Redskins after our music/video break. So stay tuned for that tomorrow. Make sure, as you know, normally Sundays I'm down Martinis Restaurant Lounge at 7025 Katy Drive in Fort Washington for NFL Game Day, but unfortunately couldn't make it down there today. But that shouldn't stop you from going down there, because I know all the fans are complaining about FedExField being taken over by other teams' fans. Tickets are so cheap, but fans are boycotting the game. So what do you expect is going to happen? If you don't go, the opposing team will go. So if you're not going to the game, go ahead down Fort Washington and Martinis. Get some nice cold beer, some nice good food. They got $5 drink specials, $5 food specials. So if you're not going to watch the game at FedEx, go down there, enjoy, family-friendly environment. Good folks, good food, nice chill place. Go check it out. I'll definitely be back down there next Sunday doing a pregame stream that I'm doing right now. Like I said, feel free to comment any questions, concerns, things you got to get off your chest about this team, or things you might not agree with what I got to say. I don't have a problem with you not agreeing with me. Let's talk about it. Then, all right, let's talk about these lines that's coming in here. 3-6, no, 3-6-1. I forgot they had a tie. Their offense is pretty decent. They have the same, well, they have more consistent offense. They can actually score in the red zone, but they say have the same defensive issues the Redskins have: inconsistency, blown coverages, third down conversion percentage is horrible. But let's talk about the offense first. They are 8th in the league with total offense of 379 yards a game, 5th in the league with 281 yards passing, 19th in the league with 98 yards rushing. They average 24 points a game, and on third down conversion at 41%, which is 13th. Mentioned Matt Stafford. He's out for the game. This will be his second week out. I forgot the name of the backup, but yeah, he'll be in there. They lost the game to the Cowboys last week, I believe, or the week before, whatever it was when he didn't play. And, you know, they played well. Cowboys supposed to be a superior team, but sometimes they play down to their opponent. Redskins used to do that, but now they are down, and other opponents are playing above them. But they have a quality offense. We know that. Their defense is the question mark. We know the Redskins stats. I'm going to go over them real quick. I don't even have the updated stats. I looked at them from last week to this week. Pretty much the same. For the Lions defense, they give up 412 yards a game, which is 30th. They give up 288 yards passing, which is 30th. Hopefully that can help Dwayne Haskins maybe get loose a little bit today on that secondary that's, kind of porous. Give up 124 yards rushing. That seems a good sign for AP. He has a toe injury, but he's active. Maybe he can get going, and they can build off of it, get some play-action pass going to get Haskins, in the rhythm, short passes, maybe get him and McLaurin and some, chemistry things going. We saw a great play between them two last week. Matter of fact, I'm about to go ahead and show some of the few highlights from the game last week against the Jets, where him and McLaurin hooked up on a nice pass.
He has a lot of talent. He's got this. He's got great arm talent.
They give up 27 points a game. See if the Redskins can get 20 points. How about that? Let's see if they can get 20. And their Lions defense gives up 46% on third down.
Nice little play action here. Givers plus the tight end Sprinkle. Haskins again under pressure. Gets rid of it to Geis.
Difference between the offenses is they can actually score in the red zone. The Redskins can move the ball between the 20s, but as you see for a few years now, can't find a way to get into it. Redskins staff, like I said, these are the numbers from last week. I mean, the week before last, before they played the Jets, they're pretty much the same. They're 259 yards offense total, 169 yards passing, 89 yards rushing, 12 points a game, but they got 17 last week, so that'll probably be 14 points, maybe 13.5, 14 point average now. And on third downs, they're 24.2 on offense, which is 31st. Defense, total yards 366 to 21st. Pass yards 233, which is 14th. Rush yards 136, which is 28th. Points to give up 24.3, which is probably a little bit more than they gave up 34 last week. And third down conversion is about 50%. So we know what it is. We've seen the product. Hopefully, it doesn't take this team to the fourth quarter.
He has a lot of talent. He's got this. He's got great arm talent.
But let's go ahead and talk about the inactive list. We got, as I mentioned, we had a report earlier that Josh Norman would be inactive, which I didn't have a problem with. Thanks, Robbie. I forgot to mute the audio. See, still learning. Technical difficulties. Appreciate it, Robbie. You always on point. But hopefully it wasn't too loud. Y'all wasn't drowning me out. But the inactives list, we mentioned Josh Norman and AP will be active. Aaron Colvin, who was the DB that was going to play in Josh's place, is inactive. Colt McCoy. This one caught me. I know Deron Payne was in a walking boot earlier, and I didn't really hear many more reports, but he's inactive for the day. You know what type of force he's been in the middle, causing havoc, batting down balls, stopping the run. He's been very key in his rookie season. I like what I've seen from him. Ross Pearson-Bacher is out. Jeremy Reyes, another defensive back, Cam Sims, and Chris Thompson. So, and I know you all heard Vernon Davis on IR. So, yeah, the tight end situation, if Jeremy Sprinkle has been doing a serviceable job, but he's no Jordan Reed or Vernon Davis. He's a quality blocker. Hands is above average. I wouldn't say great, but, he makes good plays. When he has a chance, we saw the touchdown catch he made last week with the, low ball that Haskins threw. He was able to, get it before it hit the ground. Let's see what else we got. Oh, yeah, I did say we was going to do our weekly pick 'em. I forgot about that. I did write down my picks. Last week I did pretty good, so I'm kind of like that in fantasy football. Still trying to get a fantasy football guy on so we can talk some fantasy football. I know a lot of folks is getting close to playoff time. I'm trying to salvage a team somebody gave me that was 0-5. I'm 4-7 now, so 4 wins in 6 games ain't too bad. Had to make some changes. Trying to get to 500. If I get to 500 after being 0-5, I'll be cool with that, even if I don't make the playoffs. But if anybody has any questions or anything, like I said, feel free to chime in. I got the Facebook Live feed on my phone. I'll get to the Redskins predictions after that, after I go through the pick 'em of these games we got today. We got 1 o'clock, Tampa Bay at Atlanta. I'm going with Atlanta. Their defense has been playing well, especially after they upset the Saints a couple of weeks ago, which killed me in my fantasy league because Drew ain't get a touchdown. Then we got Denver at Buffalo. I'm going with Buffalo. We've seen them. They played, pretty well. Good ball. They got a good defense. Got a potent running game and a quarterback that can, move the ball, run the ball, has good pocket presence. So I got Buffalo winning that game. You got New York Giants at Chicago. I got Chicago's defense, dominating the Giants team. Barkley is going to get his, but I think Daniel Jones is going to get harassed a lot by that Chicago's defense. And, I'm going with Chicago. Trubisky, I don't know what's going on with that dude. I was looking at some of his numbers, and his numbers are horrible, but he has some of those intangibles that when he's on, everything is clicking, everything is working. But when he's off, it looks like a train wreck. So I'm not sure, but I think they're going to lean on the running game and the defense. And I feel Chicago will win that game. Then you got Pittsburgh at the winless Cincinnati. I'm going with Pittsburgh. Cincinnati just looked like a train wreck. They're down to their second, quarterback. Dalton got benched a couple of weeks ago. The defense isn't as good as it was. The offense doesn't look worthy. Wonder if they go back and get, the dude that just left here. Who knows, as their offensive coordinator. I highly doubt it, but that would be interesting. Then you got Miami at Cleveland. Cleveland coming off a win and some, how should I put this? Negative publicity with Myles Garrett getting suspended indefinitely for the helmet hit heard around the world. I'm not going to get into the politics of that. I would, but there's too much to go into. You got Miami at Cleveland. I'm going with Cleveland in that game. Miami still, is Miami. They got a victory. So do the Redskins. So, hey, can't say too much. Then you got Oakland at the Jets. Most folks are taking Oakland. I'm going with the Jets. I like the way they played last week, unfortunately, against us. I feel like they got into a rhythm and they showed some of the offensive, solved some of the offensive issues against our defense that they was having issues with before. They put up 34 on us. I'm thinking they're going to carry that over this week against Oakland at home. Oakland, traveling across the country. I'm not a big John Gruden fan, so I'm going to go ahead and jump out there with that one. That's my upset pick of the day. You got Carolina at the Saints. That's a no-brainer. I'm going with the Saints. Hopefully Drew goes off. I could use a nice 4-touchdown day from my quarterback. And we got Seattle at Philly. And I'm going with Seattle. Philly has been up and down. I was just looking at Carson Wentz. This is the lowest total of yards per game that he's had in his career. The wide receivers barely have over 1,000 yards receiving. I thought the Redskins receivers were, not getting enough touches and not getting enough action. But apparently the Eagles wide receivers are doing less. Okay, Ken, thanks, bro. He said Jeff Driscoll is the backup quarterback for the Lions. Yeah, I saw the name, but I damn sure couldn't remember it after I saw it a couple of days ago. That's the 1 o'clock games, and you got 4-5 game, Jacksonville at Tennessee. Ryan Tannehill has been playing pretty well since they took the rookie out. He got back healthy. Tennessee, every time I pick them to win, they always find a way to lose. Both of them have potent defenses. I think Jacksonville's defense is a little bit better. I'm thinking that they're going to win on the road in Tennessee. Then you got the 425 game that everyone, well, most folks are talking about, Dallas at New England. I'm going with New England. You know, they talking about the flu was going through the Cowboys locker room, and apparently someone was seen looking at Cowboys practice from a building across the street. That was funny. I saw that on social media. That shit was hilarious. I'm going with New England. Can't go against the hoodie. In 8:20 Sunday night, it's going to be a hell of a game. Green Bay at San Francisco. Now, last time I went with Green Bay, saying their defense would stand up, they didn't. San Francisco, they came in here and did what they did. Muddy game, they still found a way to win. That's what it's all about. Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take San Francisco on this one. Plus, I got their defense and their tight end, so in my fantasy football. So I'm going to go ahead and go with San Francisco. And then Monday night, Baltimore at the Rams. Now, early in the season, this game would be something that I'd be like, oh, yeah, this is going to be, a great game. I'm not saying it's not going to be a great game, but the Rams haven't looked like the Rams of last year. And Baltimore with Lamar Jackson, I mean, that dude looks amazing. And I can't even remember the records that he's done and broke and been doing so far this year. I'm going to have to look at him closely because I might have to do an article on him. Normally only talk about Redskins, but that dude balling out and he's doing some good things out there in Baltimore. So I'm not a Ravens fan. I don't hate on them anymore. I appreciate and respect their franchise, having a quality front office, always making quality draft picks, playing good fundamental ball, always quality defense, even though if the offense might fall off or sputter or whatever. So, I mean, even though I'm not a fan, you still got to respect their franchise and what they've been doing. But I'm definitely going with Baltimore in this game. But, yeah, Lamar Jackson, yeah, what he's doing in Baltimore is the vision of what I had RG3 doing here before he got hurt. So, too bad it happened 30 miles up the road instead of right here down the street from me. But, hey, that's the NFL. That's how it goes sometimes. But I definitely think Baltimore's going to take care of that game. Now, let's see. Let's talk about this Redskins team in this Detroit matchup. Most folks taking Detroit. I just watch NFL Network. Everybody took Detroit. It's going to be definitely an uphill battle for this team. I feel like because Detroit's defense is as bad as the Redskins, that the Redskins have a shot in this game. They give up a lot of yards rushing. Detroit does. I'm thinking with Bill Callahan, the way we saw him previously with Adrian Peterson, getting him in the game, getting him involved, getting him, moving. Hopefully, we'll see some more progression from Haskins that we saw from the first 3 quarters to the 4th quarter of last week. I'm hoping it just wasn't the prevent defense of the Jets. It was actually him, learning on the fly, seeing different things to do, getting his running back up in better position to see the blitz and put him in a spot to, pick up the man, to alter the, calls at the offensive line. I'm hoping that we see more of that this week because, I mean, we've talked about he's a work in progress. He's only had, 14 starts in college. His senior year, he put up great numbers from what I hear, but 1 year in college is not going to make you a all-pro in the NFL against the best athletes in the world, some of the top coordinators in the world, and thinking that you're going to be able to get away with, stuff you get away with in college. Not going to happen. But, my keys to victory is, like I said, running the ball, get the play-action game going, and make Haskins comfortable. If he's comfortable rolling the pocket and doing stuff like that, let's see more of those instead of him just doing straight dropbacks. Let's get him comfortable first before we start trying to get him more, adept at his mechanics and his dropbacks and stuff like that. Let's get him comfortable on the field with the speed of the game and, the nuances before we start trying to teach him things that he has to learn. Let's get him comfortable first. So I want to see some more bootlegs, rolling the pocket, even if you do the zone read look, if he's familiar with that. Just give the defense different looks so they're not just teeing off on him, doing a 3 and 5 and 7-step drop. What's really hurting them is, like I said, the tight ends. If you had a Reed out there or a Davis, that's like the tight ends are like your safety blanket, just like your running backs are in the flat. They're always close to the line of scrimmage. They're normally your hot reads. And, he's been doing that better too. He's been, picking up the pace. He hasn't been taking as long to go through his progressions and got the ball out quicker in the fourth quarter than he was in the first 3 quarters. So like I said, I want to see him build off of what he started in the fourth quarter against the Jets. Now defensively, that's a long list because last week we saw blown coverages, we saw miscommunication, we saw missed tackles. I mean, the Jets had so many players wide open, it was ridiculous. It's so bad that the tight end that had his first 100-yard game against the Redskins last week of his career, I believe he's been in the league 2 or 3 years, he just got a contract extension. Off, I ain't going to say it's off of that game, but that's how well he played, that they didn't re-sign that dude to a 3-year contract because they see the potential with him having a breakout game against our defense that was giving him 10-yard cushions, and nobody knew who this dude was. But they made this dude a superstar because of they're not communicating, lack of rush, lack of getting to the quarterback. Granted, Darno was, using his feet well, buying time, stepping up when needed, but you still got to get home. It's about hunger, it's about hustle, it's about want. And we need to see that today, especially not having Deron Payne out there. So I'm sure Tim Settle will be in there, who's another force. And, some of the other defensive line they're going to rotate in. But it's going to be an uphill battle for this team as it's going to be for the rest of the season. But I'm going to go with the Redskins as another upset. I'm going to say they're going to score 20 and upset the Lions. 24-21, Redskins win. Not guaranteeing it. I'm just going with it. But I see folks getting ready for the game, so I'm going to do the same. Appreciate y'all checking me out. Check me out at Postgame Live after the game, win, lose, or draw. Be streaming back on the SportsOTHP page. Soon I'll be off restriction for Facebook, so I'll be going live from my page and be able to share to more groups. Appreciate y'all checking us out. Go check out the website, SportsOTHP.com. Check out the YouTube channel, Carol Porter III with 3 eyes, not the number 3. True Radio Network. Check us out, TrueRadioNetwork.com. It's all there. DC Sports Without the Politics. It's not a catchphrase. It's not a motto. It's what we do. CP3 out.